Maggie Fitzgerald. Americans hit the street today as part of the No Kings protests. The wave of protests is aimed at the Trump administration and other elected leaders. Now, crowds started gathering around 10:30 this morning in Macon's Tatnall Square Park. The protest, organized by local group Macon Trouble, echoed similar demonstrations across the country. This marks the third wave of nationwide protests since President Trump's return to the White House. Speakers called for camaraderie and peaceful resistance. They also stressed the importance of voting in upcoming local elections, including Georgia's Public Service Commission race. Participants filled the park with handmade signs, chants, and even costumes ranging from unicorns to dinosaurs. Organizers are calling it a joyful and fun celebration.
Protection of your rights for speech and assembly. These are all being threatened, and people are worried.
There were infractions in June, but I think they've gotten worse over time with ICE going in and arresting people, and there's no recourse.
Protesters walked through the park chanting until noon today. There were no counter protests reported. And this is the scene from protests in Atlanta, as more than 2,500 demonstrations are planned across all 50 states. This is the second round of these kinds of demonstrations against the Trump administration. The first No Kings rallies were staged back in June. Organizers say they are protesting against what they call Trump's authoritarian agenda. That includes the president's push to deploy National Guard troops to American cities and immigration raids. Organizers say these peaceful demonstrations aimed at providing a clear contrast to the administration's recent show of force. Some Republican leaders have labeled the protests as anti-American, while Democratic leaders are praising these efforts to resist the administration.
In this moment in which we are seeing a president and an administration arrogating to himself power that doesn't belong to him, our message is very clear. This is not about the people in power. It's about the power in the people. And I think that a big part of what the Trump administration is trying to do is weaponize despair. So intimidate and bully people that they won't stand up. He's getting his answer today.
And from coast to coast, protesters gathered at these rallies today. Elise Preston has more.
From coast to coast on Saturday, protesters gathered at No Kings rallies against the Trump administration, standing up for democracy and First Amendment rights.
Every American should be really concerned that Trump's mission appears to be to just demolish and destabilize the Constitution.
And when we start seeing that rights are being eroded, then it's time for us to do something and to speak up.
Organizers say protests were planned in more than 2,500 large cities and small towns. Celebrity scientist Bill Nye took part in a rally in Washington, D.C.
Rather than doing one monarch's bidding, we have agreed to form a democracy, to work together, and to follow the laws that derive from it. No thrones, no crowns, no kings.
In some cases, entire families came out to protest.
There's a whole movement of people across the political spectrum that are here to stand up for what's right.
Protests additionally took place in Europe, where Europeans and American citizens living abroad stood in solidarity.
So I'm here to remind people that what we are founded on is the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Members of the Trump administration have called the rallies anti-American, and Speaker of the House Mike Johnson says the protests are a Hate America rally, but organizers say the protests are peaceful.
House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said this weekend's events are, quote, what democracy looks like. And all this comes as the government shutdown moves into a third